Today's about permanent makeup, PMU. What is it? Who is it for? And is it safe? And can it help you look younger without doing too much? Then we're getting into something very current, the Tradwife trend. Is it empowering or a fantasy? Or is it a step backward? And then, of course, we have Spill It. Let's go. Party's over, my friends. Externally, I wanted to look a certain way, but internally, I wasn't happy. I've had so many procedures, so many treatments, more than I can count. I started to really focus on doing things for my body that made me feel good. I decided to write my book to share this knowledge, and people have really resonated with it. And that night at 5 in the morning, there's a girl at the front door. I was able to figure out what a narcissist was because I was married to a narcissist.
There's some stuff in there I'm very surprised that you're talking about.
I can spot the red flags now from a mile away. I want the viewers of my show to walk away feeling great about themselves and feeling empowered. I'm going to incorporate my story as well in the show, but I also am very interested in learning about other people's stories.
I love your honesty and your genuineness. That's what makes you so authentic and real and why people want to talk to you.
Watch Party's Over. It's going to be fun, informative. We're going to have a great time. Party's over. Joining us today is Johana Hedman from the Hedman Method. Hi, Johana. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. And Joanna's going to talk to us today about permanent makeup and camouflaging tattoo procedure. So how did you get started with permanent makeup?
The short story is that I was always looking for getting my own brows done, and I never liked the results that I saw. And one day I was in Brazil, and I was walking down the street, and I saw this place that had displayed beautiful pictures in the window, and I said, oh, I want to get that done, but I would never go to that place because it looked very sketchy, and I didn't even know if the pictures were real.
Right.
So I did some more research, and then I realized I was also in the transition of changing careers, and I realized that I would really love to do this. So I started searching for the best place in Brazil to learn. I started calling, and I found a very good artist who was the best in Brazil. And I started calling every week until they had a course. Then one day I called and they said, yeah, we have a course starting next week. And I said, I'll be there.
That's amazing. So I met Johana in 2017, and she's incredible. So we've done pretty much everything. Microblading eyebrows, permanent makeup on the eyelid and lips, and camouflaging tattoo for my scars. So do you want to explain each procedure
Yeah,
to
sure.
the audience?
We can start with the brows. So our focus is always a natural result, to keep it more natural looking, soft, subtle, sophisticated. I personally prefer to go a little bit more on the natural side, and for a client to add a little bit more if they're going out than to go full on with microblading or with powder brows or whichever technique that you choose. And then you can always add later. So I like to ease into it.
What is the difference between microblading and powdered brows?
So powder is more of a look like if you have your brows filled in with powder makeup.
Okay.
Yeah, it can look really good as well. With microblading or hair strokes or nano brows, it's hair by hair. And it gives the illusion of fuller brows, and it gives the illusion of having more natural hair.
I know that I want to say in little pre-2020, I know the microblade was so huge.
Yep.
Do you think it still has that stamina, or has it kind of taken a step back?
So it was very, very popular and in the media, all over the media. Around 2015, 2016, it was very much written about. Now, I think a lot of people know what it is. When I started, nobody had heard of it. They just seen the old type of permanent makeup that was very fake looking and very solid, and it was a different approach. It's still popular. I think that if you do it right, then it has, it looks really good, and we still have a lot of clients that really love it, and they would never change.
Yeah, it seems to me it's just like an easy thing to make yourself look put together.
Yeah.
It's so easy. And Johana's method is, I do the microblading with the eye shadowing. So so it looks super natural.
Yeah, we do the combination.
Yeah,
so,
the combination.
So both microblading with nano hair strokes and powder. And that combination looks very nice.
And then how often are you doing it?
So initially you do it usually twice with about a month in between. And then after that, for maintenance, I recommend to do it once a year, just to maintain it. Doesn't mean that everything is gone, but it is good to reinforce it so that it doesn't go away completely, which it would after a few years, depending on your skin.
So somebody like me with darker hair and darker complexion, would I be a candidate for it?
Yes, absolutely.
It's just easy because then your brows are done. You don't have to worry about that. And what else? The other things I like about what Johana does, so she does the eyeliner, which is called the eye enhancement. So do you want to explain that? Because that's
so the eye
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, the eye enhancement, it is like a very, very fine eyeliner. It doesn't quite look like an eyeliner, but it goes in between and slightly above the eyelashes to make them look fuller and darker without looking like it's makeup. You can also do, of course, an eyeliner effect, but I really like the eye enhancement because it looks very natural and soft. It looks good when you wake up in the morning. It doesn't look too overdone, and it helps a lot just to make your lashes look better.
Yes, and then she also does the lips.
That's what I want to do. Literally, we were talking earlier. I'm gonna book my appointment for my lips.
Yeah,
because I feel like the older I'm getting, I don't know if it's real or in my head, but I swear my pigment's getting lighter in my lips.
Yeah, that happens with time. It happens with time. The contours get less defined.
Yeah, like
it gets lighter.
Great lips.
Yeah, and
they're
you still
just
have,
going
you
south.
you still have great lips, but it helps a lot because a lot of times there's a little bit of, with that lightening, there's still lip tissue there, but it doesn't show up.
That's what it is. Like
it looks like they're shrinking.
Yes, my lips, like, because I don't need the filler. Like, I have naturally plump lips, like, so I can feel it. But then when I look in the mirror, if I don't have lipstick on, I'm like,
so it's still just define your
I just
lips,
need a
and then you just
little...
need lip gloss. And it's for all the viewers out there, if you want something easy and like no maintenance, getting ready in the morning, you just get the microblading with the eyebrows, the eye enhancement, the lip enhancement, and you just need lip gloss, and you're done.
Yeah,
you move on with
and lashes if you want. So I do lashes too, but
maybe a little bit of foundation. And that's it.
And that's it. And then you're done. And it's so easy if you're working, you have kids, and you just want something like low maintenance.
Or you just want to roll over and be pretty.
Yeah, you want to wake up
you want to
pretty.
look great for your husband in the morning.
Exactly. You want to wake up pretty, but not overdone, not so. Oh, did you run out and do your makeup? No, it just looks good.
It just looks
soft.
It just looks good. You just maintain it like once a year.
Yeah,
like
once a year.
Mm-hmm. Any other permanent makeup that you do?
Well, for the aesthetic ones, for the face, those are the three. And then, of course, we do scar camouflage, areolas after reconstructive work, surgery, after cancer, or after breast lifts. Yeah, so a lot of scars too.
So with the camouflaging, with the tattooing, it's like a process. So if you have a procedure and you have the scar, you need to wait until the scar is completely flat and it's no longer red, correct?
All right, so I have a scar. Can we analyze that? And then you can, okay.
Sure.
So I had a surgical incision. I had to have surgery on a tendon.
Okay.
So I have this scar right here, which I have been camouflaging with my bracelets.
Yeah.
But I would prefer not do that. I'd prefer just, have a nice scar-free wrist. So would I be a candidate? The surgery was about 5 years ago.
5 years ago. Okay. So so normally we wait at least 12 months.
Okay.
And your scar in particular looks good. It's it's mature. And it is a scar that's a little bit lighter than your natural skin tone there.
So I put biocorneum on it when I first had the incision?
Yeah, so we need to blend it with the surrounding skin, and then on the outsides of your scar, there's a little bit of darkness, so we can also camouflage that just so that it looks more blended. It's more known as scar camouflage, but it's blending of the pigment. It doesn't always leave it invisible, but it leaves it very much improved. Sometimes you can't see it at all. Sometimes if there's a thicker scar, you can see a little bit of texture there. But our goal is always to improve as much as possible with what we can do. And also it helps that when we're doing the treatment, we're also essentially microneedling and improving the texture, because we're working with the type of tool that we use. It does stimulate also the collagen, and it helps to make the scar appear better.
You know, I love this because I think sometimes there's a big difference between scars from voluntary procedures and scars from like a traumatic event that led you to have surgery, you know? So a lot of times I think that scar can be like a reminder to people, you know? And I think it'd be nice to be able to get rid of it. Like, it's one thing if you have like the boob scar, right? Like you did that, like you have this great payoff. You're like, look, I have a great set of boobs. Like, who cares if I have a line? But something like that, or like you said with a cancer patient, like you might just want to forget about it. You know?
Absolutely. It becomes a constant reminder when you see that scar of that traumatic event in your life, and that can be very difficult and can affect your confidence a lot.
So what is the process for if somebody has a surgery, has the scar needs to heal? It takes, like you said, about 12 months.
About 12 months,
The scar can't be red at that point, because I remember you telling me.
You can have, if there's redness that doesn't go away, that remains for a long time, we can neutralize that as well. But we want the scar to be mature and ready to be worked on. So it's on a case-to-case basis. We always meet before, do a consultation, and inspect and analyze the area beforehand.
So for somebody that has like a keloid, or the scar is raised, they would have to just get laser to...
Well, with keloids, it's a little bit more tricky.
What's a keloid?
It's when it's raised above the skin.
Yeah, it becomes, and it can spread outside of the area of the initial incision. It can become very bumpy. You can have injections for that, a dermatologist or plastic surgeon's office, and you can improve that a lot before you go to scar camouflage. And not all keloids is an area that you have to proceed with a lot of caution, because working on it could potentially trigger it to reactivate and grow bigger again. So with specifically keloids, a little bit different than a hypertrophic scar that is just raised. So if it's a true keloid, we have to be very careful. But a lot of scars, most scars that we see are not keloids. And we want to make sure that we've done what we can to prepare the skin to be ready for camouflage.
So this is great for all the viewers. If anybody has a scar or wants permanent makeup, Johana's amazing. And what do you recommend for people who aren't in the Miami or South Florida area? Like, what kind of places should they look for in terms of if they want permanent makeup or camouflaging their scar?
It's very important to carefully select a provider. Especially looking at board certifications. There's two main organizations that do certifications, board certifications, because one thing is a certification after a course.
This is the worst. These stupid internet certifications. Like literally everybody's certified to do everything.
Or weekend.
It's scary.
It's not regulated. It's not regulated in a lot of states. So somebody could take a 20-hour course and then go out and say, hey, I'm certified. That does not mean that they know what they're doing or that they have any experience to speak of. So board certification sets a certain standard that you have to show that you have experience, that you can take on different type of cases, and you have to do case studies and such. So I personally have 2 board certifications, and I think that's a good place to start if you're looking for these type of procedures, because it is something, it's very important. Cleanliness, hygiene, cross-contamination is a big thing in this industry. So that's something that you have to be very careful with. also the result. So before a great result, what does a great result matter if it's not a clean place?
Yeah, you know,
those have to go together.
And don't go into your nail salon.
And look at the person who's doing it on you. I'll never forget, my mom wanted this done years ago. And so we pulled up to this place, and it literally, we walked in and we looked at the woman and we walked out because she looked so scary. Like her personal permanent makeup was so bad. Like my mom and I literally looked at each other and we're like, oh my God, we cannot do this. And we literally left, and I haven't talked about permanent makeup since then.
Yeah, that was traumatizing.
I was completely traumatized. Like it was one of those things, like you walk up like these stairs and it looked like above a nail salon.
That's what I'm saying. Don't go to your nail salon.
This woman did not have certifications. There's no.
Or she probably did. It was probably like a weekend.
Yeah.
Like a 20-hour certification. So she's saying get board certified.
Yeah. And also look at the person.
Yeah,
I mean, look at you. You look great.
Yeah,
like I would trust you with my face, but
well, you have to look at, you know, the portfolio. Are the results appealing to you? Some people want a look that's more heavy. We specialize in more natural.
Yes.
We can do a little bit heavier too if a client wants it, but we're known for the more natural results. So,
if a client wants it, will you do it? If it, like, does it bother you? Like, has there ever been a time where you've been like, I just can't do this to
absolutely,
you?
yeah. There's been times that that ethically
you just couldn't do it.
I couldn't, no.
It's a reputation.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That, and also, what if that person later down the line realizes that, no, this wasn't a great shape for me or a great look for me, and then I don't want to create the problem down the line. So for instance, a lot of times when clients come to do their lips, they ask that they want to make them larger and they want to go outside the border. I will only go a little bit outside the border. I can even out the lips, but I'm not going to go, you know, very, very far outside the natural lip texture, because it's not going to look, it's going to look good when they walk out or a week later. But then a few months later, it's going to look horrible, and I do not want to do that to anybody's face.
Does it spread? Like,
well, it's the skin, your facial skin and your lip tissue retains pigment differently. So you could end up looking, it could stay a lot longer on the outside, and then you end up with a clown-looking mouth. That is not something that I want to do to anybody.
Wow. So I've had a lot of people ask, because, you know, I wrote the book on a million different procedures, and you're in the book as well, when the second part of the book, where we talk about like more natural processes, procedures, whatever. And so I have a lot of people ask, like, because not everybody wants surgery, not everybody wants to do Botox or, you know, filler. So I always say, like, this is the best thing that you can do, a non-invasive way to enhance without doing any type of surgery or even like that kind of a procedure or injection. So for our viewers that don't want to take that road, this is the best that you can do if you want a little bit of an enhancement with the eyebrows and the eye enhancement and the lips.
I'm a chicken and I'm doing it. I'm literally calling it this week.
But you're a prime example, because you don't want to inject your lips.
Yeah, but I want something. Like,
but you want something, so this is a great alternative.
Yeah, I'm totally doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is perfect.
Yeah, and it's, I think, especially the eyebrows is one of the features that can change or improve your face in such a way that it almost looks like you had something done without having something invasive done, because it frames the face. It just creates more structure. It can enhance and bring out your eyes more.
Right.
So
it's good for facial balancing.
Yeah, facial balancing, and that's something that you can start with. And then, you know, the lips and the eyes are really nice. So a lot of clients start with the brows, and that's what a lot of people are familiar with at this point, is the brows, and then they go on to the other ones.
And then you get addicted.
Yeah.
And you also sell the Revita Lash in your office as well. Can you explain a little bit for people that don't want to do eyelashes?
Or you're allergic to that.
Or you're allergic.
There's a sensitive formula.
So of it, like the lashes, like it's something with the glue.
Oh, okay.
She has Revita Lash.
Serum. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, serums. Like
she can do the
glue.
serum.
Yeah, it's a great alternative.
So she doesn't do the actual eyelashes like Giselle does, but she has the Revita Lash in her office, which is an alternative to lash extensions. Can you explain a little bit about the Veida lash?
Yeah, it helps to naturally grow the eyelashes longer. It works phenomenally. It makes them longer and thicker, especially the Pro Advanced formula that came out a few years ago. It's fabulous. And even the Veida Brow serum that they have, I was very skeptical that any serum could really improve your brows that much. And I tried it during COVID. I was home and I said, you know, why not? Let me try it, because I don't carry anything in my clinic that I don't stand behind and believe in myself. So I tried it and I was able to grow them out a lot.
Wow.
Now, they grow in, of course, where they grow in. So they don't, you know, automatically shape your brows in the ideal way necessarily, but it does help a lot to have extra hair. Even if you do microblading or powder brow, it always helps to have a little bit extra hair there to make it look more natural.
So this is perfect. So you can do everything with Johana.
I can't wait. I'm going to book it. Yes,
can't wait to have you.
And if you don't live near Johana, you can find somebody local to you by doing your research. So just to recap, board certified.
Yeah.
And look at before and after photos.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
This was great information.
Thank you so much for having me.
If you like this segment, share it with a friend who's been curious about PMU. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And please leave a review. It helps the show grow. Now, let's shift gears, because the next topic isn't about brows. It's about identity. Let's talk about the Tradwife trend. So have you seen this online trend called Tradwife?
Oh my God, it's like in my feed constantly, and I don't know what that says about me, but for some reason, Instagram keeps sending me all this Tradwife stuff. Do you know what it is?
No, I have no idea what it is.
Okay.
The viewers, do you guys know what it is? Because I have no idea, but
So
Vita's going to explain
I feel like I might not do it justice, so we're going to ask my best friend ChatGPT. Tradwife. Okay, a tradwife is short for traditional wife, is a modern internet term describing a woman who embraces traditional gender roles, often centering her life around homemaking, marriage, and family, while the husband is typically the primary breadwinner. Okay, I'm totally fine with this.
I'm fine with it too. It's like a 1950s house.
Yeah, like this is great. Like personally, I'm like a horrible homemaker, so I feel, but I'm okay with not being the breadwinner. So I guess I'm like a pseudo tradwife, because like I do all the things, but maybe I outsource them so I don't have to do them myself.
Okay, so you're a pseudo Tradwife.
I'm a pseudo tradwife, so I know you're cool with it in general.
Okay.
What if Zara called you, your lovely daughter who has her own business and is an independent woman, and Zara fell in love, maybe with like my stepson, and they wanted.
Sorry, Moon. Vita and I have had this dream forever, but to be related.
I'd say like Chase was like, listen, I want like a really traditional marriage. I don't want you to work. What? And I want you to like make me dinner because my stepmom didn't. She ordered takeout. What would you say?
I would be shocked. Only
Okay.
because, okay, so this is what Zara's mindset is. She wants to make her own money, establish her business, and have both. So have the business, be able to earn a living, not be dependent on her husband, but also be able to be more of a traditional wife.
Okay.
So she wants both.
You know,
So-
and a lot of times, you know, it's your kids that want you home.
Yes.
Like, I think, especially in your case, I think that your kids asked you to be home. You weren't
Yes.
like, hey, I want to be home, but
No.
your kids begged for you and you did it for them.
My son asked me when he was 4, Mommy, you're working too many hours. You need to be home. And I was like, okay, I quit.
Yeah.
That's all he had to say. But fast forward now, they're 22 and they're not happy with me working. So they both were like, oh, you're not focused on us enough, even though they're 22 years old.
It's interesting because I feel like personally, I have this weird relationship with a career. Like sometimes I want a career and sometimes like I have absolutely no desire to have a career. Like I really like, it's like some days I want to be a tradwife and then other days I want to have an empire.
Right. So you're
Like,
in and out.
I'm having like an identity crisis.
So you're not like a true Tradwife. But this is great
Yeah, I
for
think
women
it's
that
great,
this is what
yeah.
they want, as long as they know in advance, you know, what their situation is with their
Yeah.
husband, and that fast forward, they're not
going to be in a bad situation.
I also think it's
later on.
important to tell your daughters that they have a choice. Just because you're a stay-at-home mom doesn't necessarily mean they have to be
100%.
one. I think you have to teach them, this is a choice I made and I'm completely okay with you making this choice. But also, if you want to go be a surgeon, by all means, don't be a surgeon. And having a career does not make you a bad wife, and it doesn't make you a bad mom. It's just a different dynamic in that marriage.
100%. But I've taught my daughter from a very young age to always be financially independent and not depend on her significant other.
My mom taught me that too, and it failed. So, just me.
But in all fairness, if you wanted to go down a different road, you could. You had a thriving career for years. So this is a choice that you made. And you're in a good situation.
I can't wait to see the next 10 years.
Yes. Now it's time for Spill It, my favorite part of the show. When you ask us anything and my friend Veida and I tell you what we really think. Are you ready for this one?
I cannot wait. What do the people have to say today?
Should you research a guy before the first date?
Oi, okay. So I think this is a situational question. Did you meet the person like randomly in public? Or was it a setup? Because like you need to make sure somebody's not a fraudster, a serial killer. So like a little bit of research I think is important. But I think too much research is bad, because then like what are you going to talk about? And then it's going to be so weird because he's going to be like, oh yeah, I work for blah, blah, blah. And you're going to be like, yeah, I know. I saw it on your LinkedIn. Like how you'd have to start lying on your first date. So I think it's contextual.
I think there's a fine line, because yes, you need to protect yourself, and maybe you could do like a little bit of research if you don't know this person at all and you randomly meet them.
So if you meet them organically and you have no connections, you can do research.
It's a fine line.
How fine of a line?
Okay. So I was in Los Angeles and I randomly met somebody at a restaurant. And we started talking, and it turns out like we own houses in the same area, at my vacation home where he lives permanently in another country, in Mexico. And fast forward, we ended up going out that night. We had a great time. And I don't know what came over me, but the next day, everything was fine.
I know what came over
He left,
you.
I left. He went back to where he's from. I went back to Miami. And I don't know what happened, but something, and we had planned to see each other again like 3 weeks later. So I ended up asking indirectly about him. So I ended up asking friends of friends who were all like connected to him on Instagram. But instead of just waiting for him to show me who he was, I went on an FBI investigation. It backfired so badly. And 3 different people approached him. So he flew home Sunday night. So from Sunday night to Tuesday night, 3 different people approached him and said, oh, you met this woman in LA. One person said, I said he was sketchy. I had sent photos of him from his Instagram from a long time ago.
So this is not a normal amount of research. I understand that you're an overachiever. So it's fitting that your research started overachieving a little bit. So do not do what she did.
No, because it was really bad.
This is really bad.
Yeah, it was really bad. He was very upset. And fast forward, we had 25 days where we weren't speaking after I apologized. And then we ended up seeing each other again, thank goodness. But it was really bad. And I feel like I've been like kind of backpedaling ever since.
So yeah, so what you did was not good. That was weird and not good behavior. However, in your defense, you were in LA, and there's so many like shady guys in LA. Like, I feel like if you meet a guy in LA, you should probably research them a little bit if you weren't introduced to them, because they could be a total faker. And then there's another situation where I feel like it's completely acceptable to research somebody. If somebody says they are going through a divorce and they're like, there's no definitive divorce, like maybe they're like living with the spouse but in separate rooms, or when it's murky, I think it's in every right of you to look up to make sure they're divorced.
So you're saying research the divorce?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think like
that's fair.
I think that's totally fair. Like if you meet somebody, right? And I'm not saying somebody that's introduced to you and you know that they're divorced, but I think there are some situations where maybe like somebody got in an argument with their spouse and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're getting separated," and they go out the next day and they're not actually getting separated. I feel like if you're going to date somebody who says they're getting divorced, you need to make sure they have filed for divorce. Because otherwise you're like with a married person and that's really bad. You don't do
So
that.
maybe you do a little bit of research. You don't go
Yeah.
down a rabbit hole like I did because it backfired so badly. But maybe
yeah.
do a little bit of research beforehand, but it's a fine line and just make sure they don't find out.
Don't. And also like you want to act surprised when you talk to them and actually learn about them. So I think if you know that they're not a serial killer, you know that they're not a faker, and you know that they're legit, you do not do any research.
Exactly.
If there's any little bit of shadiness, I think you're allowed to do some recon just to make sure you don't get hurt or bamboozled. You know, because that stuff's real. People get bamboozled all the time.
They do.
Like, what's that show? There was that Dear John show or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah. Dear John.
Yeah, where like these guys come in and they like prey on women. It's really bad. So a little research is okay, but only under certain circumstances. But do not go write a dissertation on this person.
And don't go down a rabbit hole.
And don't ask people. Like, limit your research to a
To
Google
yourself.
search.
To your Google. Like,
Don't
instead
tell
of
your
me
friends
doing
about
that.
it, because what she did, I guarantee you the information you found on Google was plenty. You didn't need to start texting people.
No, it was bad. Honestly, it was really bad.
Okay, so if you're going to do research, minimal research, no dissertations, and only under very selective circumstances for your personal safety.
What today really comes down to is choice. How we present ourselves and how we structure our lives, and how we decide who we let in. All of it should come from intention, not pressure or performance. Whether it's permanent makeup, traditional roles, or modern dating, empowerment isn't about fitting a trend. It's about knowing why you're choosing it. Thank you to Johana and Veida for bringing honesty and perspective into this conversation, and thank you for being part of it with us. If this episode made you pause, question, or see something differently, share it with someone who'd appreciate the conversation. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay connected. This is Party's Over.